Hi.
All right, guys, we are recording. Happy Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday, aka Payday Tuesday, aka some of the highest paychecks of a lot of the leaders in this right now. And
I would probably say every leader.
Yeah, well, for most of you guys, if you worked, you got paid. And so I am so excited to be doing this training tonight with you, Amber. She is one of my closest friends, and she decided to start selling Scentsy because she saw a pair of shoes.
Just yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And literally, she is now on her way to Superstar Director. So it's going to be really cool for you guys to hear her story, how she works, all that good stuff. But before we get started, those of you that have never seen my husband before, this is Justin.
Hello.
And he is going to be doing the leadership and director calls with me from now on, just to make sure that he can give y'all his perspective. And I think a lot of you guys, sometimes you'll have your significant other on here, or maybe you just, can you stop doing that? Or maybe you just learn better from a guy or from that perspective. So he is going to be sharing as well, and Amber is going to be delivering all the golden nuggets. So first things first, I want to say, before we get started, and Justin's going to do a little bit of recognition, is thank you guys for being on here. I know that it's Tuesday. A lot of us are trying to figure out different ways to work our business still. It's, to be honest, it has been a trying couple months. Amber's a teacher. She'll probably explain a little bit of that in her story, how she's transitioned as well with being home with COVID and literally changing the way that we've worked from doing Facebook Live parties. She just got off of one and just evolving and adapting. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear from her. And she, again, is a star director in our group. So, promotions.
Yes.
Justin, do you want to share the promotions?
I will share the promotions.
He is going to share, by the way,
directors and above.
Yes, directors and above that are in our stewardship. So obviously you guys know Katie and Ray does these calls. Chastity does these calls. So if you are a director or above, you're in one of their groups, we are not excluding you. We are so proud of you. If you're on here, shout yourself out. If you promoted to any title, shout yourself out, please.
It's just we had so many people promote that within our stewardship, it would have probably taken the whole call for me to recognize everybody.
Which is a really good freaking problem to have.
So I'm recognizing anybody who promoted to director. So first and foremost, we did have another superstar director promote. So anybody who is a director under this superstar director will no longer show up in our stewardship for us to recognize, which is a great thing. So obviously you're still going to be able to have us lead and direct you guys, but first and foremost, we got to shout the superstar director out, and that is Jamie Gowers.
Woo-woo!
So if you are a director under Jamie Gowers, director under Jamie Gowers, you will, and if you promoted, you won't show up on this report that we're about to shout out. But yes, congratulations, Jamie. I know you're getting a lot of love if you're on here, but yes, shouting out Jamie. All right, so then now I'm going to shout out, we did have some star directors promote, which is huge, one away from superstar director. So we had Lauren Wright, Heather Bullock, Faith Ciampa, Crystal Klingman, Whitney Hebel, Anna Charbonneau. Did I say that right?
You literally said it right.
That's just what I
Wow.
If Anna's on here, she's on here. I am impressed. Okay, that was awesome.
That's just what I do. And Courtney Osbrook promoted to star director. I think there were some other star directors in the other lineages, but this is people who we have a direct kind of relation with. All right, so now moving on to directors, there are a lot. Now, I might butcher some of these names, but I'm going to do my best to try not to. All right, so we have Chaslyn Green, Heather Skipper, Samantha Wynn, Kylie Huffman, Rachel Davenport, Kelsey Price, Miranda Bradshaw, Lisa Hall, Erica Crouch, Christina Jackson, Ashley Parker, Mary King, Dana Hupp, Amanda Sessoms, Olivia Davidson, Anja Fost, Morgan Davis, Kimberly Tremblay-Prey, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, Ashley Hatley, April Coleman. Hey, Brittany Meisling is under Amber Willoughby, and Kayla Justice
is under Amber Willoughby. And people, we had Beverly Hagg
came out of the queue.
along with Ashley Parker. So congrats to you guys.
And then now, do you want me to shout out the highest TWV or nah?
No, they can see that. And,
okay.
And so with the highest TWV, by the way, one of the reasons we are really focused on recognizing that is because TWV is a direct reflection of your team. And that's something that I want you guys to know is it always needs to be a priority for you as you grow directors under you to constantly be focusing on, okay, where is my TWV at? Because that means you are growing new leaders constantly. You are growing future directors. And when you have directors promote, you have to pay attention and understand that they're going to take away that TWV with them when they promote to directors. So that is why
I will say who our number one is.
Yes.
Melanie McCourt was our number one TWV last month.
Which is kind of insane because her team.
Hold on.
What are you doing?
I've had GWV pulled up too, but I'll show you too.
Her team number, like her team for 70,000 is only how many?
141.
Her team is 141. So 71,000. Yeah, for 141 people is pretty incredible. So congratulations.
Shout out Melanie and everybody that is within her team.
All right, Justin.
Who's like 5 and 6 down from us. That's kind of sad to say. Like, there's 5 and 6.
It's not sad. I think it's awesome. So tonight we are going to be talking about some leadership tips that we have to give you. We recognize there's a lot of directors on here that are new. Thank you to the directors that are on our director page that shared different topics they want us to cover and answer for you guys. Me, Amber, and Justin will answer that at the end. I'll have Justin pull some of the questions, and we will definitely help you guys out with that. We realize that leadership is hard, and
but it's fun.
It is so fun, but it's hard, and we want to be able to help give you guys different ways to simplify the most important things as a leader, whether you're a lead consultant or you're on here and say there's a superstar director on here. We want to be able to give you guys literally tangible tips as a leader, whether you're just starting out or super advanced, to know pretty much the things that you need to be doing every month. Okay. So Justin, do you want to talk?
So I'll just say this too. So the whole idea of me coming on here also is I realize that, Chloe and I dropped this ship for Anchored Sense. However, it is important to hear from other leaders, which is why we're going to start inviting leaders to come on this call and take over a majority of it. Reason being is because Chloe and I are kind of our open book. Everybody pretty much knows how we work. So it's very interesting to see how other people are getting to star director, superstar directors. So that's why we'll be asking. So maybe some of you are on this call tonight. We may be asking you for our next call next month to come on and share, because I think that's important. You'll always hear me say iron sharpens iron. And that's a good thing about that, because you have to hear from different people, because sometimes it can become a broken record to hear the same thing from us, because all of our YouTube trainers are out there. Chloe's face is all over the place all the time. But first and foremost, one thing that I want to talk about right now that I think is important, because everybody has promoted during hypergrowth stage for Cincy. This has been insane with the COVID. A lot of environmental factors are out, that are out of our control, that are helping us right now focus on Cincy, and has caused this hypergrowth that we have going on. So leading through a hypergrowth right now is a positive, and it can be frustrating. But the reason why it's positive.
Well, can I stop you real quick? I want y'all to know, I feel like there's probably several of y'all on here and you feel nervous, scared, unprepared. So I want you to know that I would feel the exact same way. I myself, with the amount of growth we had, was very nervous. There's a lot of things that I've changed even starting this month with the way that I lead, that I'm going to share little bits of that with you. But I just want you to know you're in the right training. Amber's hashtag is her thing for this year is do it scared. And so I just want you to know you're in the right place. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. You're going to be, but we're here to help you know that it's okay. And you just got to start. And, because I feel like a lot of people just get really scared and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm a director. Oh my gosh, it's this. There's not a lot you need to know. There's just a couple things. Even whether you're a brand new director or you're a lead consultant, there's a couple things that can really change the whole dynamic of your success and not make it as scary and as hard.
Yeah, and like I said, guys, the reason why I said that this is positive to think about right now with this hyper growth is because you're gonna, if you're focusing really hard right now, you can establish systems and a strong foundation that's going to get you through when this hyper growth stops and when everything starts leveling out, because it will. That's just the way the market works sometimes. So the systems that you put in place right now are going to actually be probably over the top systems, but it's going to be effective for you to use. You'll hear me say all the time, A times E equals R, which is activity times effectiveness equals results. So that's how you build a system. A system is the activity that you're doing and measuring your effectiveness to get you the results you want in each leg of the stool. So PRV, if the result you want is $2,000 a month, what activities are you doing and how effective are they? If you want to get 2 recruits a month, what's the activity you're doing? How effective are they to get you the results? And then at the end of the day is, do you want this paycheck from a standpoint of leading your team? What's the goal? What activities are you doing combined to get you there? Are they effective to get you the results? So that's what I just want to say. So leading through this hyper growth right now and setting sustainable systems is important. So in saying that, I'm going to say this. Now that you guys are leaders, so this is leading above, you are going to start, everybody has a recruit now. Everybody has an active front line now that you're leading above. So one thing I want to point out to you guys is this. Your title when you sign up for Cincy is Cincy Independent Consultant. That title does not say Cincy Dependent Consultant. So one thing that you have to focus hard on right now is to not work your recruit's business. So in saying that, I get it. It's exciting to get that one recruit. It's so exciting. Chloe was jumping through the roof with the first recruit she got. And I think it was a family member. But
it was a family member. The first 4 were family members. And
I remember that Chloe was so excited, started doing all these things for her, wanted to go throw her party, wanted to do all this, wanted to make her samples. And me, I'm like, wait a second, hold on. I get it. We make money off recruiting people, but isn't that setting them up for failure? So what I'm telling you is this. The system that you need to go ahead and create right now is creating independent consultants. And I don't think you've ever heard us really say that before because we're always sharing, but the reason why we share what we do is for you not to ask us questions on what we're sharing. Is for you guys to get this information that we're sharing from you and use it and not ask us about it again. Not a bad way. We love to hear it from you, but it's about creating that independent culture within your group, within your teams to show that you are the leader and Chloe and Justin are not.
Yeah.
And that's not nothing negative, but at the end of the day, but now that you're leaders, they have to look to you guys to give them the information kind of from a top-down approach because that is the culture you're creating. If you're creating the culture of, oh, just go watch this or go watch that, I get it. You can use our YouTube trainings, use those, but actually you have to watch them too and not just tell them to go watch it and you have no idea what the content is because what if they come to you with a question and you don't know how to answer it? So I will say that is something that you're going to hear us start focusing a lot more on now because we've grown so many people and a lot of you guys that have been in Cincy for a while may have a team now to where you're actually making some good money and you're like, okay, now what do I do with these people? It's now a time, like I said this in Coach to Coach, it's never too late to start over in your business if you have to, in order for you to set the systems up now to start setting these people up for success and creating independent consultants.
And even if you're a director now, something me and Amber talked about when we FaceTime today, we have to start using simple systems. And Amber's going to talk with you guys about the systems she uses. They're not as scary as you guys think, but they are necessary. They are not optional. And the issue that I've seen is we have a lot of directors and whatnot promoting, and they've not had systems established. So what's happened, the team is not being taught to have certain systems established, a PRV system, a sponsoring system, and a training system. So in saying that, setting them up for success earlier, it's not that we want to teach you guys to be like, hey, find it on the workstation. But it's when you...
But that's important.
It's extremely important. But what we're saying is, yes, launch their business. Have a way that you launch your business. Have a checklist on a way that you launch your business. Me and Amber both use that. Me and Amber, when we can, 99% of the time, if it's an online virtual party for that recruit, we are going to throw it for them because it's teaching them at the same time about the products, how to sell. It's helping them reach Shooting Star, which builds momentum, which helps them want to reach certified. So, but what we are really focusing on, me and Justin, especially with you guys, is helping to get them to the point to where when they're certified, you're identifying, do they want to stay there? Or are they going to want to excel? If they're wanting to do more, then you're going to share the Guide to Growth series with them. You're going to share something with them so you can see, are they going to put in the work before I get on the phone and do all these coaching calls and things like that. It's all about navigating them to see if you can instill that belief in them, number one, and then seeing if you can encourage them and motivate them somewhat to want to learn so they can grow using the resources that we have.
For sure. And one thing I'll say, because I saw this on one of the questions, and this is just something, and the reason why I'm saying it is because Chloe just hit it, is one thing that I saw somebody post is, how do you motivate your team? And I was asked this a lot when in my previous job and things I'm doing with my staff.
Was that
now.
one of the director questions?
Yeah, somebody asked, from a motivation standpoint. So the way that I always tell you have to be able to motivate somebody is by knowing actually what their vision and what their goals are. And the only way you're going to do that is through conversations. So if you're trying to figure out now, like, how to motivate your team to do certain things, you kind of are a little behind, but you can catch up because you need to know what drives them and the conversations on why they joined Cincy, whether it's to earn vacations, to earn money. So if money is what motivates them, talk money to that specific person. Don't blanket coach, but for the most part, people are looking for a way to get out of their job or to have retirement income or to do this. So if money is what's motivating them, tell them how to make money. Tell them what they need to do to make money. Motivate them. Be like, hey, look, if you would have done this and this, you would have made this. That's how you motivate people in that aspect. If there's somebody that's want to travel, hey, we have this incentive. This is what you have to do to earn this. Or put money away that you earn, which takes to travel. If it's friendships, hey, start a Zoom meeting. Like, there's just different ways you can do to motivate people, but it starts with conversations and understanding the outlook of your team and the culture you're creating. Because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is your culture is going to be what motivates people because they're going to be excited to be a part of that group.
Yeah.
That makes sense? Hopefully
yeah.
That wasn't too
And in
broad.
saying that, real quick, if you just want to go over.
That was yours. So you talk about the vision because you said the vision, and I think that's important on your thought.
Yeah, I mean, and Amber's going to talk about this as well, so I'm not going to dig too much into a vision, but there is a difference in like a monthly goal or a weekly goal or a promotion goal in an actual vision. And Amber and myself are huge fans of dream boards and having big, huge, life-changing, I don't even know if I'd call them goals. I guess they would be like legit visions for our life and for our family. And it's so important to have those. And so I want to share with you guys a couple of mine so you can be encouraged to really dream big. So like for some of mine, I have them all over. I have them in my planner. I have it on my wall. I have one by my Peloton. And I think it's really important that they're in your face. And Amber's going to talk about that. But for example, one of mine is to double our group to 10,000 lives. For example, when I did this in January and I wrote these visions for our group and for my family, they were scary, big things. And we had a group of about 4,000 people, a little bit less in January. And because I'm a firm believer in energy attracts energy, and like reading aloud your I guess like prophecy over yourself and over your family, there's power in that. And so I'd get on my Peloton every day, and it's number 2 on my 2020 vision. And I would read it, and we're getting really close. We're over 7,000 now. So I just want to instill that the vision is so deep, and Amber's going to go into that as well. 2 programs I want to recommend. If you're a new lead consultant, these are brand new programs that can really help you. Number 1, Guide to Growth. And my recommendation for this program is it does not need to be optional, okay? You can hop on OG Boss Babes. The entire Guide to Growth program is there. I will have Justin also post it on Anchored In, so every leader on that platform can have it, but it's on OG Boss Babes. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to Katie Laster's channel, Amber Willoughby's channel, Chastity Robinson's channel, Ray Ray's channel. Subscribe to these channels, by the way, because anytime that they drop a new training, okay, it is automatically going to email you on that. You're going to know that they dropped one. The second program I want to recommend, and Guide to Growth, by the way, is all about building a foundation, which is what Amber's going to talk about in a couple minutes. But the second program program is Coach the Coach. This is a brand new redo of our AIM coaching program. So when you guys hear coaching calls, Justin and myself, we created those together about 4 years ago, but it was called AIM. We don't call it that anymore. We call them coaching calls. So we wanted to redo the program, and we really wanted it to be evolved. And so it's a 3-hour training broken up into 3 trainings, okay? And with Coach the Coach, as a lead consultant, I can tell you the sooner you listen to that training, the better your business, your leadership, your coaching is going to be. I almost call it like blind coaching, right? Where if you just are like, I'm going to do a coaching call, but you haven't learned about it, let's not skip steps in 2020. Let's do things the right way. Let's learn how to do these things. Let's learn foundational things for your business and guide to growth. And that way you are equipped and you're ready to literally build a massively strong business. So those are 2 programs I wanted to recommend to you guys, because I know
for sure
there may be new lead consultants on here that weren't aware that those are 2 leadership programs just for our group, just for you.
Yeah, and look, I want to reiterate this too, because back to my independent versus dependent, the coaching calls are not meant for you, and you'll see this if you watch the training. So it's something that we get asked all the time. The coaching call is for you to coach on the effectiveness, okay? So activities is what your consultants that are under you should be doing for you to coach their effectiveness. This is not something for you to tell them that they should be doing this. You should be looking at the systems and activities they're doing and making recommendations, but also looking at what they're doing. So I just want you to be aware of that when you're watching these coaching calls. And you'll hear me say it all the time, that A times E equals R. If you're doing a lot of A but not a lot of E, you're not going to get the R. You could have one activity for each leg of the stool and be a very successful sissy consultant.
And that's a perfect example of like blind coaching. So if you're doing the activity of coaching, but you're not
E, you're missing the effectiveness of what you're trying to do.
Because you haven't learned, that is a situation, because then you're not going to get the results you want, because you're simply trying to skip a step and do an activity because you've heard I should do coaching calls, instead of saying, hey, let's get a good foundation. Let's do it the right way. Let me watch these programs. Let me, you know what I mean? Let me implement these things so I can figure out my way, which Amber's going to talk about that as well. And the last thing I wanted to say, because I saw somebody ask how I work my business, and I was going to wait till the end to share this, but since honestly, this is the main thing.
A day in the life of Chloe.
I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you guys pretty much how I work my business in the next few minutes. So I want to say this. Number one, you're always going to have to evolve. You are never going to be at a place where you're like, this is it. This system is perfect. It's working great. You have to get very comfortable being uncomfortable.
And you just have to know when to evolve.
And I think that's one of the best tips I can give you. And that's why I love the fact that Amber's going to talk about doing it scared. Like doing these things and knowing they could change, knowing as you grow, you're going to have to change the way you do certain things. And so, the way I focus on my business is I'm very individual business focused first. So first week of the month, and I've shared this with some of y'all, but the first week of the month, it's all about my business. So I'm focusing on getting at least $1,000 in PRV. I'm catching up with all of the follow-ups I'm behind on. I'm making sure, do I have even stuff in stock? Like, do I have bubble mailers? Do I have office supplies? Do I have team? Can you not do that while I'm doing this? I can't do it tonight. I love you so much, but I can't. Like, tonight's really not the night. I have to be in a man's brain, literally for 5 seconds. I would love it.
Just making myself useful.
Okay, it would be really useful if you did it with me live to get me sales. Yeah. Okay, so
truth.
Amber, you already know. So anyway, so first week of the month, I'm really focused on getting also my coaching calls lined up. I'm at a very different scale, which makes me excited too, because I know as you guys grow, I know different levels you can evolve in with your coaching, but now I've had to get even more specific with the way that I do things. And so I'm choosing who I'm going to coach for that month, the first week. I'm also making sure that all my hosts I have for that month, their parties are opened or I'm getting things in place with them. I'm updating my annual mentor. I'm updating annual sales. I'm updating literally everything in my planner. And I used to not take the first week for my personal business. I would go ahead and I don't even have business hours now the first week. And that's just something new I started this month, which many of you saw. I'm email only the first week, but only because I can't design. Like right now I'm designing, for example, this week I did group t-shirts. What else did we do? We're planning last week we planned a compensation training for this week. We picked out who we were going to coach together because it's very difficult to do that now. He helped me organize different files on my computer. It's literally that first week, and I highly recommend this as a leader. You don't have to take the whole first week. If you're a lead consultant, you have to go with where you're at, right? But I do recommend at least the first couple of days of the month, no team stuff. Yes, I'm behind the scenes doing the banners, I'm doing the mail outs, I'm doing all that, but I'm not just openly available for my team. What I've realized is every action I try and do in my business, I want my leaders to want my job. And my leaders would not want my job with a group of 7,000 people if I was always available, if I was doing 35 coaching calls a month, which we could easily do, if I was not abiding by my business hours. It would wear and tear you guys to pieces. And so first week is for me. I also want to recommend, if you don't have business hours, you need to do it 100%. You need business hours. You need to protect your time. Your team will use you as a resource, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but they will suck you dry and they will spit you out. They will want your resources, and you have to learn how to step away. I did not step away for like the first 4 years of my business. If you watch my old trainings, I literally looked sick. I was like 110 pounds. I did not have business hours in place. I never had time to work my personal business. It was diving straight into the team, and you have to look at the stool. I work by the stool. That's why PRV that first week is pivotal for me, because I know if I at least get over 1,000, and I'm doing that too because last week of the month is primarily for my business. So I'm closing parties, I'm front loading for the next month. I am again catching up to all the customer service I missed second and third week of the month, because it's just going to happen. I'm not the kind of person who does Monday I do this, Tuesday I do this. I have things that come up. Last week I had a lot of compliance issues. So I have to just make sure, as long as I protect the first week and I protect the last week, I can make sure that my business is secure. And that literally, like I said, involves everything that has to do, even with down to making flyers I need to update. Guys, you as leaders, we have personal businesses to run. We have customers to take care of. There are, you can only get with boxes right now through Scentsy Club. I made an image of that last week, so I can have that for mail out.
You can only get certain products from Scentsy.
I'm updating my systems and my forms. My systems, I'm always changing. Literally, my digital systems, I will go in and I will take, and this is something me and Amber talk about a lot, like, take it out, man. If there's something in your system and it doesn't work for you, it doesn't tick for you, that first week of the month, I'm taking all that out. I am changing the way that my brain is working at that moment to succeed. I'm rearranging my office so I can grab and go very quickly, so I can be efficient, so I can, if I have a new team member join, I have that packet ready to go so I can mail it to them. Same with just all my printables, all that stuff first week is very, very important, on top of getting that first leg. By the 15th, I'm focusing on, second and third week, I'm focusing very heavily on you guys, on my team. That's why you'll see me do trainings the second and third week of the month. We have a compensation training tomorrow night. I highly recommend you get on. But that's when I'm really also doing the coaching calls. I do them Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the second and third week of the month, and I do some the fourth week of the month, but very minimal. Because you've got to protect your brain, and you've got, I don't really know how to explain it, except I know those of you that are on here that are leaders, you can understand that especially if you're an introvert, and honestly, I don't even think it matters. It's a lot of draining. It's really good draining energy, but it's draining energy. Yeah. So I don't do more than 2 coaching calls a day when I'm doing them Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I learned the hard way by saying, I'll add a third and a fourth. No. So I think earlier on, and obviously you're going to have days where you may want to jam pack those calls in that day, but reassess it at the end of the month and see, okay, next month, do I want to go this way, or is it going to be better if I take 2 calls on that Tuesday so it doesn't get out of control and I don't miss packaging and order and like all those things. But Monday and Friday of every week, no matter what, are always for me. I like to start and end the week with myself. And then I repeat the cycle. So I don't do a Monday, I do this, Tuesday, I do this. I focus on the 3 legs of success. I focus on hitting my personal goals. First week of the month is all about my personal business. I'm setting up leadership stuff behind the scenes. I'm making the banners. I'm getting the stuff organized for the calls we're going to do. I'm doing all of that stuff, but I can't serve you guys as well as I know I can if I'm always doing all the team things. And one thing I've noticed as a leader is that you guys want to jump into all this leadership stuff, which I think is great, but don't lose your business.
Yeah.
Don't ever think a team is a priority over my customer. Not true. Don't ever put a team member in front of self-care. That's not okay. These are all things that I did for a long time. And honestly, I just think it's really important, like Justin said, to really set these consultants up for individual success. I sponsored 6 last month. This month I've sponsored none. And so honestly, going into tomorrow and into the rest of this week, my focus is when I'm working my personal business sponsoring. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm always focused on the legs. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this. Now I realize everybody's going to have different systems to succeed, but as long as your system involves high PRV, consistent sponsoring, 2 or more a month, and training is the big piece at the bottom, training and coaching calls. As long as you have the first 2 legs, which is why I protect my first week and I protect my last week, that has helped me succeed and work with the amount of people I work with, and to be able to not go crazy, truthfully, and to not lose myself. Business hours, you need to change them often. I'm always changing my business hours to adapt to my life. When COVID started, my kids were at home for a while, so I was email only a couple days. Now that we have a group of 7,000, the reason I'm email only that first week as well is because I'm looking at my front line. I have 167 front line. No, 187. And so I'm telling you guys this because you 100% can do all of these things. And I think a lot of people sometimes look at me and they say, how do you do it all? And I say, I don't do it all. I just do the things that are the most important. You're not going to be able to do it all. You're not going to be able to please everybody. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but welcome to leadership. Welcome to being a leader. Leadership is a position that I feel very honored to be a part of with this group. And I'm saying that it's so easy, and I feel like we work with so many women, so it's so easy to just want to save everybody and want to help everybody. But what you're going to do earlier on, especially as you do coach the coach and you do guide to growth, you're going to learn how to have hard conversations sooner, so you can either coach people up or you can coach them out. You're going to know how to identify leaders. You're going to know who to work with. You're going to know that your personal business is always first, because that's what we teach you guys, right? And so that is honestly how I do it every month. And I, of course, have systems that I use. I have the PRV system I created, the Dream Team system I created for recruiting. And like, I think I saw Rob or somebody on here who said, make them your own. Yes, make them your own. Amber's going to talk about that in a minute. I think it's so important to individualize how you work. And on our systems training we had the other week with Felicia and with Queenie and with Michelle, they talked about all those systems. And I think that's pivotal and actually extremely important that you watch that training as well. So you can see, it's not, me and Justin were talking about this, it's not about this crazy A to Z system. It's about tracking the efficiency, and you can't track the efficiency of something without a system. It's virtually impossible. Mm-hmm. So having a system for my sales, having a system for my recruiting, and having a system for my leadership and for my training. I've used coaching call forms that I write out little tips about the people I coach. I use a rising director checklist. If you're a director, you have access to that. I posted it last week. Amber's going to go over the leadership checklist that she uses. It's so important that you do have systems, annual mentor, annual sales. If you're not tracking that as a lead consultant, please print it off right now. In Guide to Growth, we have those trackers on your workstation. Track it as a lead. I wish I tracked those as a lead. Nobody told me. You want to build a big business? Earn annual mentor this year. You want to build a big business? Earn annual sales this year. Those are direct trackers that Cincy or awards that Cincy does to help create leaders. They just don't say it like that, but that's the point of definitely to annual mentor. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to switch it
Can
over.
I say something real quick?
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
real quick. I just want to, before we switch it to Amber, because she needs to lead this call, it's something that I said at our Superstar Director Summit that we had. And it's something that I will continue to say to Chloe. I always fight to decrease hours, but increase efficiency. And so with Cincy, I will say this. The beautiful thing is if you under promise and over deliver, you're never going to have an emergency. There's never an emergency with this business unless you over promise. So in saying that, your time spent in this business from an emergency standpoint, you should not run into an emergency in this business at all. If you're going through integrity, you're under promising and over delivering, you're not going to have an emergency because you don't have to worry about making a product. Cincy will update you as much as they possibly can on the workstation, so you don't have to worry about the good. The beautiful thing, the only thing that you have to worry about taking care of is your customers and making sure you're stewarding your downline. Those are your two things as a leader. Most importantly, your customers. The reason being is because active frontline is everything in this business. And the only way you're going to get active frontline is through happy customers who refer people that want to join under you and keeping and building those customers. Recruiting is something we get asked about all the time on how do you recruit? You recruit by selling. And I know that sounds weird, but the higher PRV you have, the more customers you're going to have in order to recruit. So if your PRV is not consistently above 2,000 a month, start there and figure out a way to build your customer base. There are thousands of ways you can build your customer base, so you just have to figure out which one works best for you. But I'm a firm believer, it only takes 15 to 20 hours a week to be a very rock star, superstar director in this business. That's not a lot of time for the amount of effort that you have to put into something. But 15 to 20 hours a week is all it should take. If you're doing more than that, and if this is your full-time job, you need to relook at your system. Something I used to say to a lot of business owners that I consult with is you have to build a system and you have to try to find a way to break that system. And the reason why you have to try to figure out a way to break that system is so you can make it better. And so once you get to the point where you can't break the system, then you know you've achieved what you needed to, but I find that that rarely happens. So what I'm telling you is this: there's no emergencies. 15 to 20 hours a week if you can. If you have a part-time job, then you need to take 10 hours and be as effective as possible at those 10 hours until you can make sense of your full-time job if you want to do that. Focus on taking care of your customers, 2,000 a month, 2 recruits a month, or an average to get to 15 to 20 recruits within a year so you can get annual mentor and constantly do that.
Yes. So in saying that, we're going to put Amber's beautiful face up here. There she is.
I am very white. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. The lighting is not going on. There's diffuser. I don't know if it's that or this big screen. So really quick, I am Amber Willoughby. I am the Star Director of Feet to Faith. I am out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And I have a lot. I'm a teacher, so I do really well with like systems, obviously, and notes. So if you guys see me looking down, I'm just referring to my notes. But the first thing that I really wanted to share with you guys, my motto for my team, and the teams underneath me now, is don't let your dreams be dreams, and hashtag do it scared. Everybody who was at World Tour, heard one of the, I don't know if she was star director, superstar director that walked across the stage, and she said, do it scared. That was her biggest tip. My biggest tip when I walked across that stage was do not reinvent a wheel. Do not reinvent something that's already working that successful people are doing. You need to be looking at successful people and you need to be mimicking what they're doing, because what they're doing and what systems they're doing is obviously working. So you need to make sure that that's what you're doing. Okay, so that was my biggest thing. I wrote a bunch of notes while I was listening to Justin and Chloe. The second thing, before I get into this whole thing, what I'm supposed to talk about, in teaching, so I teach intensive behavior support. We've been doing online remote learning. It's weird. It's uncomfortable. My classroom is in my office. Like, it's just weird. One thing that we say in the special education world is that you have to build the plane while it's flying. Nothing works all the time. So literally we have a mindset of being so adaptable that we're literally building a plane while it's flying, because something is always changing, something is always evolving, and you have to be willing to shift with that. With that being said, Cincy's very similar, because what you're doing might not be working, so you might have to change that a couple of times, and that's okay. So for me, I have been a consultant now for 4 years. April was 4 years. I joined in 2016. I was a customer of Chloe's for like two and a half years. Literally, she asked me a million times to have parties, didn't do it. She booby trapped me, bag parties, didn't do it. I just wanted to buy for myself. And I finally joined. She posted a pair of shoes, literally going to Disney World for an incentive trip. And I was finally tired of watching her travel because that was my thing I wanted to do. How are you traveling for free? How can I do that? She told me, I still didn't do it. And then a week later, I went on her website, pressed join, rest is history. During that time in my life when I joined because I needed an extra income, because if any of you are teachers and you know anything about the pay during the year, we get paid 10 months. We can opt for it to be spread out to 12 months. So I moved from Greenville to Wilmington. I'm from Wilmington, but I moved from ECU land that I was there for 7.5 years back home for a then boyfriend at the time. And my life got a little crazy. I needed that extra income. So joined Scentsy, and I'm going to tell you guys that point in my life because I want you guys to know that it does not matter how you start your business. It does not matter what happens in your life. It's about what you do with that. And if you let it affect you in a negative light and you kind of bask in that, that's what's going to stop you from achieving your goals and your dreams. So went through a terrible breakup, had to move back in with my parents for 6 months. This is all while I was starting my business. I listened to everything Chloe said. She did come down. She's one of my dear best friends. She came down, did my launch party for me. I hit Shooting Star. I hit Sensational Start. I hit Lead right away. And then Chloe told me that I didn't really have an opportunity to say no, that I needed to go to Scentsy Family Reunion. Now, mind you, I joined in April, and I think the deadline was the end of May. And I'm like, what do you mean I have to go to Nashville, Tennessee? I don't know anybody. And that's where I met Chastity. So actually Macy Cox too was on that trip too. But I'm saying that because when you listen to your leader, you listen to your sponsor, and you listen to those people tell you that it's important and this is why, she told me that that was going to spark a light in me and I was going to be able to see what Scentsy is really all about. I made friendships on that trip that are still my friendships to this day. So Scentsy Family Reunion is awesome. If you guys did not sign up for the virtual, I'm sorry. That's all I got to say about that. So I really quick wanted to show you guys, I'm going to share my screen before I dive into anything, because I want you guys, and I've always heard Chloe and Justin say that there's a lot of validity in the fact that you can look at numbers over whether it's when I started 4 years ago to this year, or what I'm going to show you guys is May 2019, when I was still a director. I hit Star Director in October versus last month, May 2020. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I can't show the screen, Chloe.
You got to do this. Click here. Oh.
There you go. Try now.
Okay. Oh, there's so many options. Okay, I think I'm on this one. Share. All right. Can you see that, Chloe?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me sign in real quick. So what I want to show you guys here is a direct reflection of everything I'm about to talk to you guys about. So I want to show you guys the difference between last May and last month. And I'm going to tell you exactly the difference of last May 2019 and last month. So you can see easily right here, I've never been somebody who really struggles with PRV. Is that as high as I would like to see it? Absolutely not. I mean, my GWV was a little over 10,000. I was a director. I had 9 active frontline. My group was 93, 6 new recruits, and I did not have any directors, okay? What I want you guys to see here is that I was in a place of complacency, and I did not have systems into place, and I was not doing coaching calls. And I am going to sit here and tell you guys, I was not paying attention to what Chloe was saying as far as doing AIM. Okay, now we have Coach the Coach, and I highly recommend that you listen to it, you follow it, you implement those, because it will change your business. Another thing that I started listening to was Build It Big. Build It Big changed my business. These systems and these programs that your leaders are doing, you gotta listen to them, because there's no point in recreating the wheel. So May 2019, you guys have seen those numbers. So last month, You cannot look at these numbers and say that I do not have systems in place and that I did not implement anything. This PRV doubled. This GWV is GWV for an SSD. And I'm not showing this to brag. I'm showing you this, guys. This is a year's growth, and it brings me to tears and chills the fact that I waited so long to do this. 3 new recruits. My group isn't, well, it's greater than this now, but 183. My team's different because team numbers get pulled out whenever you have directors underneath you. Active frontline, as Justin just said, it's very important that you're tracking your frontline and that you have active frontline and that you're consistently getting new frontline. I'm going to talk more about this. 3 first-gen directors, okay? This would not be possible if I have not for the past year and more now implemented the systems that I'm going to tell you guys about. So that's all I wanted to show with that. So stop share. Okay, so moving forward, I really want to talk to you guys about what has helped me build a foundation with Scentsy. So I do what Chloe said. I don't focus on weekly stuff. I have a checklist that I go by. So week 1 is about me. My team knows that. Week 1 is solely my business. I've upped the ante. I always used to tell my team 500 by the 15th. No, I get 1,000 by the first weekend. I make sure that my week is my first week is front loaded with parties. And guys, I'm not a Facebook party person. That is not me. I am a in-home party person. That's what's always been my go-to, but I had to learn real quick with this COVID stuff, you know, this isn't the way of the world anymore, and I have to do something. So Facebook Live parties have been it for me. I didn't know what I was doing, but guess what? I've done probably 12, 15 now, and I'm not an expert. I change something every single time I do it, but I do it scared, and I learned how to do it. So that first week, it's all about me. Like Chloe said, I do behind the scenes stuff. I'm doing banners. I'm doing stuff that leaders don't, you know, like we have to send out all the recognition because words of affirmation is my love language. It's a lot of people's on my team love language. And I know how important it was for me to get recognition from Chloe in the shape of a postcard. It's as simple as that. And I know a lot of you guys really enjoy being shouted out and all of that. So that's behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing, making sure my leadership, my team Zoom is set up. I usually do in-person team meetings. Can't do that right now. Week 2 and 3 is about my team. I'm coaching, I'm leading. Yes, I'm still doing my business, but not as heavy as I was the first month because I've already set myself up for success. And then week 4, like Chloe said, I do a lot of me time. I'm front loading my calendar for the next month. I'm making sure I know where my PRV is coming from. I'm watching my team's numbers. I am cheering them on. I'm coaching them, and I'm helping them get to those last minute goals that I know that they want to get to. That was the biggest shift for me right there. So if you're not already week 1 making it about you, be selfish and make it about you, because the top of the stool with the 3 legs of success is personal care. And if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not taking care of your business, you cannot pour into other people. And that's really, really important. Whatever that looks like for you, whether you are you like to go on walks, you like to be in the nature, you like playing with your dog, you like going to the beach, working out, whatever it means, you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself. And I actually have that on my goals for the month that I'll be talking to you guys about. Work out 5 times a week. It's just how it is. I am teaching from home right now, still doing Scentsy. I am planning a wedding that I'm getting married in October, and we are in the process of buying a house right now and closing in July. So I don't want to hear that like you're busy and you don't know how to do stuff, but like if you have systems in place, you're good to go, because that's a foolproof system that you can't really back away from a system once it's already created. Once you have that constantly going, that's something that you're going to fall back on and make sure that you're working your business, number 1. So consistency, number 1 top tip. And helping you build a foundation. I have this, this is in any aspect of your business. I have, and it's funny now, it was not funny then, been doing team meetings, in-person team meetings, since I was a lead consultant. That was 4 years ago. Brittany Meisling, who now hit director last month, was the only one who showed up to my very first team meeting at a coffee shop here in Wilmington. My second team meeting, I had 2 people show up. I wanted to stop. I was like, there's no point in doing this, but I kept going. And that's something that I can say that I've consistently done this entire time. It's really important that your girls are not only listening to you, but that you are building a community within your group that people feel comfortable sharing with people. They feel comfortable speaking out in your team page, all of that. Consistency across the board. So for me, systems, I have tried a lot of things, Amy is not for me. I am not a technology person. I love technology, but in the form of like a calendar and follow-ups and all of that, I can't do it. I was not completing the checklist. I even got a year for free with the last year's incentive. I tried it and it didn't work for me, so I didn't stay with it. So for me, I use a lot of different paper pencil systems because that's just who I am. So I took, and I'll be sharing this with you guys. I actually can share my screen and show it, but this will be shared with you if I can figure out where I put it at. Nope. Hold on. How do I get the top thing away? This one? Nope. Oh, maybe I didn't pull it over. Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys. Stop sharing. I'm going to show you guys right here. So Ray had an awesome leadership checklist. Okay, so I tried that for a little bit, but there was a lot of stuff on there that I wasn't consistently doing and it didn't work for me. So what I did was took her system. I created my own in Excel. Okay, I'm a technology person, but it needs to be on paper. And I created my own check yourself system. Okay. I thrive off of systems as in this, and I want you guys to know, and you'll be able to see it. I like quotes, I like pictures, I like stuff that I can see, stuff that's tangible. Don't let the word system scare you. And I think that's something that a lot of people kind of like get in a place and they're like, oh, systems. Systems don't have to be scary. You just have to have a system in place for the 3 legs of success. You have to know how you're getting your PRV and how you're tracking it. You have to know how you're recruiting, and you have to know how you are coaching your girls, okay? So whatever that looks like for you, it's gonna be different. Half of my team really enjoys technology and stuff online. I'm not that way, so I obviously can't coach them that way. So I know Michelle Robinson is phenomenal with, is it Robinson? Hall? Robinson? Hall, okay. I don't know. I'm mixing up all the things. So what works for me is not going to work for you, but I do have systems in place, and they're literally checklists. They don't have to be a big scary thing, but I do have to be able to keep track of it. I have my annual mentor and annual sales at the front of my binder. I have my coaching call forms. I have my new consultant checklist. I have my dream team list. But like, this is all accessible in Guide to Growth. If you don't already do it, don't reinvent the wheel. Try it out, see what works for you, and then you can flip it around if you need to. But you have to, for the 3 legs of success, you have to have some type of system in place to help you guys out. Next, 3 legs of success. If you have not already, well, one, if you don't know what I'm talking about, real quick, PRV, coaching, recruiting, self-care. There is a file that I believe Flo anchored in. I have it literally printed off on my wall, and I'm looking up at it right now. That is that sheet taped on my wall. Why do I do that? Because when I'm, like squirreling and I'm like trying to do all the things, I literally need to refocus and zoom in on what's important. Those 3 things are the most important. Those are going to be income producing. They are going to be what is going to grow your business, and they're the things that you need to be doing consistently every single month. Right beside my 3 legs of success, I have the hashtag goals for the month. If you don't already write out your goals for the month, I highly recommend. It's a pink form. It's probably an Anchored In. You guys are all in it. I believe it is. Or Guide to Growth is really where I got it from. Write down your goals. I take a screenshot of that and I send it to Chloe every month. She's my sponsor. Okay? You need to have people holding you accountable. If it's not your sponsor, then you need to be reaching out to somebody who is going to hold you accountable for it. My fiance holds me accountable really well when he sees that I'm like, you know, getting off the wrong path. Chloe holds me accountable really well because we have that relationship to where we can do that. So make sure you have somebody, but you need to be holding yourself accountable. You need to have it up in your face all the time. If you don't have an office, that's okay. I didn't have an office for a while when I started my business. Have it, you know, in the front of your planner, have it on your phone where you're going to see it all the time, but you need to write that stuff down. Another thing that is really, really important in helping you build a foundation is having your dream board in your face or your vision board. This is something that I preach to my girls. It's something that's helped me tremendously. And there's something so fulfilling about the fact that if you have it in front of your face and you tell yourself that you can and you will accomplish something, that when you actually accomplish that and you're able to check it off or take it off your dream board, it means that much more to you, that much more. So like Chloe was saying, she looks around, her dreams are all around her. So for me, I have the quote, I'm a quote person. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Never break a promise to yourself. Superstar Director 2020. I did this in January. Go for the no. I have a brand new house on there. Guys, I'm closing on a house next month. I have not made this public knowledge, but I'm able to buy this house with the extra $8,000 that my teaching salary wasn't covering because of Scentsy. And that literally, it just means the world to me that I never, you know, gave up on myself and my dreams, and they're happening right in front of my eyes. I have Kim K and Kanye, because let's be serious, they're like goals with the fam. So they're up there because I want to, you know, future fam. A boat up there because eventually I want to be able to get us a boat. I have a picture of me and Anthony up there because everything that I do is for us and our family. So you need to have this stuff in front of your face because it's so important. It's so important for you to see why you're doing things and for you to take your visions and your dreams and tie them to a deep-rooted why. That's what's going to keep you waking up every single morning and keep doing the things. It's not going to matter if, you know, one day you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like it. Okay, well, guess what? You can have a break for a little bit, but don't by any means get like stuck in that place. Because if you get stuck and you tell yourself, okay, well, I didn't do this one day, it's going to make it easier for you to say, okay, well, the next day, oh, well, I didn't do it yesterday. Nobody died. My team's okay. Don't get in the habit, but make sure that you're giving yourself a break. That's something too. Monday through Friday, I work freaking hard, real hard. Saturday and Sunday, I'm still posting on my team page and stuff like that. I'm answering some text messages, but my business hours don't go into the weekend. I do that on purpose. I'm answering my customers, absolutely. I never, ever not answer them unless I'm sleeping. And you need to make sure you're taking time for yourself. That goes back to the self-care. I already said, do what the successful people are doing, make it yours. There's so many people in this. You guys don't even understand how blessed we are to have Chloe, who pours into us every single day. But there's leaders after leaders that Chloe was saying, follow these people on YouTube. If you've never seen them do a training, go watch their trainings. You can connect to different people with the different leadership styles. My leadership style is completely different than Chloe's. It's completely different. And we're best friends. Like, that's just how it is. How I relate to my team is completely different. So you have to make sure that you're listening to other people, because I guarantee you the successful people are all doing the same thing, just in a different way. So another thing, helping me build a foundation, do not solely rely on social media. I think this is the one thing that people get so frustrated with themselves and so in a tizzy because they're like, but I posted and nobody responded. Nobody commented, nobody messaged me, nobody liked it. Okay, well, social media is a free platform for your for marketing. If you're not using it, if you're not doing authentic marketing, you need to start now. It is a way to get people's attention, but it is not how you run your business solely. You need to be doing the behind the scenes work. It's hard. You need to be building relationships with these people. You need to be constantly having conversations with them. You're not cold messaging them, and you're not just relying on Facebook and Instagram, because that's just not how it works. Yeah, you'll get some interaction and all this. I did a Facebook Live today smelling the Bring Back My Bars with my mom, and I think that's the most engagement I've ever had on a live in 4 years. but I wasn't doing that for the sole purpose of getting orders from that live. I was doing that because I want people to see that I have these smells and that I am sending out these smells and that they're only available for this month. So let's get some Scentsy Club orders. So text your customers, voice text them, comment and like on their stuff. Let them know that you're not just there for Scentsy purposes. That's that relationship building that you really need to focus on. Another thing that's helped me with my foundation, I only allow positivity in my life, and I lead my team the same way. It's something that Chloe instilled in me as a leader whenever I was a part of Anchored Scent. Well, I still am a part of Anchored Scent, but before I was a director. What you allow into your circle and what you allow into your team page is going to affect you one of two ways. It's going to either bring you up or it's going to bring you down. Negativity breeds negativity, and I just don't allow it. It's not something that, you know, I'm an anxious person. Like, I have anxiety problems. I take medicine every day for it. I don't do well with people not, you know, liking me or people thinking that I'm a certain way or what have you. So I don't allow the negativity in my team page, and you guys should definitely be doing that. You should not allow the complaining on the team page about how long it's taking for orders or whatever, or, you know, so-and-so pissed me off today. Like, that doesn't need to be in any space. And another thing with that, you need to always be venting up and not down. That means that when I'm venting, I'm not going to my directors and my leaders. I'm going up to Chloe. One, because she's my best friend, she's my sponsor, and if I'm having a problem, I vent to her because I know it's a safe place and it's not going to go anywhere. But I am not putting that on social media. I am not reaching down to my directors, and I'm not letting them know the headspace I'm in, because I just need to dump it and then I move. So that's one thing I go by. If something does not work, change it. You cannot keep doing X, Y, and Z if it's not working. It's just, you know, it's a vicious cycle. If you're continuing to do, I don't know, back when life was normal, why I say that I'm a home party person, Facebook parties sucked for me. I never had the engagement. I never had anything. So when this all happened, I was like, oh man, and I don't have an option but to make Facebook parties good. Now, I can say I'm doing pretty well with them right now because I've done a lot of learning. Wendy Newgas on Build It Big, or not Build It Big, Guide to Growth. If you haven't seen that, that's where I got all my inspiration. And then me and Chloe kind of just bounced ideas off of each other. I have something very similar behind me. Anthony got me this bookshelf, and like we just created, you know, a home party. So if a system's not working, don't do it. Fix it to make it yours. And like I said, don't let systems scare you. Don't. They sound scary, but you have to have a way that you're doing things. Otherwise, you're just literally going to have like sticky notes everywhere, and you're going to forget to do certain things. And like I said, I call it your check yourself, that I created the checklist for each week to make sure that I'm doing the stuff that I need to do for my personal business and my team. I'll be sharing that with you guys. Another thing, I'm always learning and implementing new things. Like with the Facebook Live parties, I genuinely sucked at them until this happened. And I was forced to learn how to do it because I was not about to let my business go on the wayside. So always learning, always attending trainings, always listening to leaders, listening to other leaders. Guys, I'm on the same calls that majority of you are on as well, but obviously I'm muted like you guys are, and I'm just there listening and writing stuff down. But I still learn just as much as the day I started, because there's always something that I can learn and implement that's different, that's going to change my business for the better. So my 3 trainings, I'm going to piggyback off of what Chloe said, Guide to Growth. That should be optional. I have it on my pinned at the top of my group page. My new recruits, complete Guide to Growth on top of everything else that I have them do. Coach the Coach, which used to be AIM. If you are a leader above, and you guys all are on this thing, you need to learn how to successfully do that. You're not just creating these forms without knowing the importance behind them and why you're doing them. And Build It Big. I know that was done a couple of years ago, but it changed my business, and I think it has the same effect that a lot of you have seen with Guide to Growth. Couple other things that I do that's really helped me build a foundation. I'm very organized. I'm kind of OCD, very type A, and I'm a teacher, but the bins that Chloe shows you guys all the time, she did a training on them. I have the same similar bins that I have, you know, scent of the month, bulbs, mail outs, cotton balls, scent circles, felt wax samples, laundry samples, new Teamy welcome packets. I have everything already there that I bulk sample to pull and go. It makes my life so much easier. When I'm doing mail outs, I can just pull. I'm not having to do a sample right there. I pull it, I put it in the whatever, I write it down in my customer mail out log, boom, done. Makes follow-ups extremely easy. It just makes the whole thing work like a well-oiled machine. Already said bulk sample. Look, you guys are getting me on the second page now. Sorry. I can talk forever. Okay, so I'm going to kind of shift the focus, and I'm going to say a couple of things about things I wish I knew back then. So when we all start off as an essential consultant. We all go from there. Certified, lead, star, superstar director, star director, superstar director. Okay. Your leaders are not telling you anything that they do not do. I know this now because I am in the high leadership level. Chloe is not telling you stuff genuinely that she does not do. I don't tell my team to do anything that I don't do myself. Going live. This is a prime example. Going live didn't used to always be a thing. When I first joined in April of 2016, and then said that I was going to Cincy Family Reunion because Chloe told me I didn't have an option, I actually did a small breakout, Chloe, I don't know if you remember this, on going live and what the importance was of going live on your social media. It wasn't even a thing then. It's been something that is scary. This is scary to me. You guys can't tell because I prepped all of this and I know what I'm doing, just like I do what I'm teaching, but you got to do the things, and that's why do it scared is such a big thing for me. You have to do the things that your leaders are telling you to do that they're doing themselves because they're seeing success with it. Going live, Facebook Live parties right now, if you're not partying, you're not building your business. I mean that by your PRV is not going to be consistent. Your customer base is not going to expand. If you're having problems booking parties, you need to be having parties. You need to be having that constant customer base, booming all the time. Those are going to be your next hostesses. Those are going to be your next people to join your team. There's so many people that I would not know, and I was talking to one of my leaders today, that I would not know today, that I wouldn't have a relationship with today, that wouldn't be doing Facebook parties with me today for this month if I didn't meet them from another party. So you have to constantly be evolving that, and that's something that your leaders are continuing to do. The people who are successful are continuously doing the 3 legs of success. You might not see it all the time because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes when you're a leader. We don't do it, for the fame and the glory, but it's something that we have to do to take care of our business. So next, sponsoring, okay? So I really and truly did not start thinking about sponsoring in the way of it truly being blessing somebody's life until about a year and a half ago. When you're sponsoring, you're not sponsoring just for a number. You need to remember, and Katie Lassiter, this is where I got this from her, you need to make sure that you're taking care of these people. These people trusted you enough to join Cincy underneath you and want to join you. When they could have joined, Sarah that's down the street, or Brittany that's down the street, or Tina that's literally less than a mile away from my house. They're joining you for a reason, and it's your duty and your job to lead them with love and lead them with the respect that you would want to have if you were the one being sponsored. You have to work with them. They're like, a brand new consultant does not know the wealth of information that Amber knows being 4 years in. And I can't expect them to know that just by doing a first things first checklist, just doing guide to growth and doing the other things that I, train them to do. You have to really genuinely look at them as human beings. I train my people up. You can ask any of them, but the first things first checklist on Workstation is not an option. That's the first thing they have to do. They also have to announce on their Facebook and their Instagram that they're now a Scentsy consultant. We're also scheduling their launch party that I do for them because Chloe did that for me, and it was so helpful. It's not because I want to make them leeches off of me, but it's because I've been doing this and I'm very knowledgeable in this subject, and I want them to watch how I do it to learn how to do it. Teaching, anyone who went to college, you didn't learn how to do something solely from reading a book. You learned, if you're like me, you learned hands-on and from somebody modeling it to you. So you need to keep that in mind, and you need to keep it in mind that they're a human being. Simple as that. They're a human being. They trust you. They joined you. Treat them with respect and coach them up the right way. And I think the How to Train Your New Teamies, I actually created that, I think like 2 years ago. I think it's in all of the pages. But that's what I go by with every single new recruit that I have. Another thing, continue working your personal business every single month. Every single month. That's what I wish I knew back then. I thought in my head that it was optional to have high PRV every month. I thought it was optional to not constantly sponsor people. And that's where I stayed stagnant as a director for 2 years. I think November 2017 to October 2019, I stayed stagnant as a director because I was not doing those things until obviously you guys saw the numbers that I showed you last spring. You have to consistently be working your business. Those 3 legs of success are not an option. You got to have that in your mindset. You got to teach your team that. It's very important. Sorry, I'm getting hot. Another thing that I wish I would have known back then, it is so much easier and more important to get PRV from constant partying rather than follow-ups with your customers, okay? I know a lot of people right now are having a hard time. They're like, nobody wants to party with me. Nobody wants to do this. Stop asking people to party. Do you want free Scentsy? That's literally the words that come through a text, voice text, whatever I'm doing to my customers. I ask them, do you want free Scentsy? And their response, usually if I don't get ignored or a no, I'm not having a party, like, because they know my scheme of things. They'll say, what all does that entail? And I'm like, absolutely nothing on your part. I create the Facebook party. You invite the people. I'll post. I'll go live on a day and time that we come up with, and that's it. People order from your link, you get the free and half off. 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. But you have to be having those conversations with people. And it is mandatory. It is mandatory if you want to expand your customer base, because that person has this circle and this even bigger circle of friends, family, coworkers that you have no access to until they have a party, and then they have all that, and then you're like, a month or 2 down the road, well, Sarah, all your friends and your family order from me anyways. Why don't you just get paid for this? You could take better care of them than I could. And that's where that starts flipping. Customer base is expanding. You're building your business. You're sponsoring, all of that. Next, it's never too early to start some type of system with the 3 legs of success. I did not use systems, and you guys could see that. I was very vulnerable in showing you guys that, but you have to start somewhere. Don't think that you have to do what I do, what, Felicia, Queenie, Chloe, Michelle, what anybody has been training on with systems. Don't think that you have to do what I do. A lot of my teammates don't do the things that I do. They do something that mimics that, but in their own way. But you need to start some type of system this early on so that you can successfully be like, wow, I've had these systems into place and look where I've gone. So I'm going to reiterate my motto, and my team knows this. I actually just got shirts made with this on there. Don't let your dreams be dreams. It's a Jack Johnson song that popped into my head last month. And it's really, really important because your dreams can sit on, you know, in the back of your head, or they can sit on your vision board, but it's what you do with those dreams. Are you really, really, truly believing that you can get to those dreams? Because you can, but you have to do it scared. You have to. If you guys think this was all fun and games for me hopping on this tonight, ask Chloe. At like 12 o'clock, I was like, hey, can we get on FaceTime? Like, I need some type of plan. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do it scared. Genuinely do it scared. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't remember her name. She did the Cincy family reunion when I went to Nashville. She was the key speaker. What's her name?
Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins. Okay, she has a book that's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Go, or something like that. It was the biggest eye opener from me from Cincy family reunion, and it's all about doing it scared. If you stay complacent in that time and you don't act in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're not going to do it. You're going to talk yourself out of it. The negativity is going to come into your mind, and you have to do it scared. It's so important because you're not going to grow if you're not expanding out of your comfort zone. And that's just how it is. 2 more things. Don't compare yourself to others and their journey. It's the biggest thief of joy that you can do for yourself. Just don't do it. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody starts at the same place, but how somebody moves forward might not be the same path that you take. And that's okay. But don't compare yourself and think that, you know, somebody that you see on social media on the highlight reel has got it all together, because I guarantee you half the stuff that they're posting is not how real life is. So don't and it might be, I don't know, but don't for a second think that, oh gosh, they already hit director, they're star director, and here I am still a superstar consultant. Do the hard work to get yourself there. Your time is at a different time than them, and that's what's beautiful about this business, is that no 2 journeys are the same, and it would be a waste if everybody's journey was the same. Everybody has different ways of doing things. That's why we're always evolving. We're always learning from other people. And just because you're a lead consultant doesn't mean that there's something that Chloe or I couldn't learn that's really important for you. So don't be scared to share. Don't be scared. That's a really big thing, because you're getting in your own way, and like, do it scared. I mean, I could like literally say it for days. I have a letter board that my do it scared is going to go on that warmer freaking cool for July. But I literally says hashtag do it scared, don't let your dreams be dream on my gray and white letter board over here that looks just like the warmer. I'm a quote person, told you guys that. Last thing. No, I already talked about this. Do your systems. The checklist I use, I already told you guys. I'll share that with you guys. I do the goals for the month that I talked about, that pink form that says hashtag goals for the month. Every single month, I send it to Chloe, send it to your sponsor, send it to your accountability partner, have it in front of your face. Chloe knows every single month. She doesn't ask me for it, but I send it to her every single month. When I write that down, whether it be the first or the second, because I'm working on my business that week, I send it to her just so she knows. Like this isn't an option for me, hold me accountable. And then the other systems I already told you guys, the customer follow-up log that Chloe made, the customer mail-out log that Chloe made, those have been game changers. I do the dream team list. I do the coaching call form where I write down the 3 things that I go over with them, any notes that I want to do. But that's it. Sorry, I just talked a lot, but I had a lot to say.
No, it was so good. So you guys just heard Amber say.
Thanks, Jay.
I have the things up.
Well, Justin's on his phone.
Okay, probably texted Tiffany.
Probably. So
I actually haven't.
I realized that was, you guys heard a lot of good content. And so we want to take just the next 10 minutes, truthfully. Do you have any questions for Amber, for Justin, for myself, as a new lead consultant, or as someone who newly promoted? Seriously, what do you guys want?
So one thing, and
hang on. So what do you guys truthfully want to know? Because this is the time where you guys can ask these leadership questions and we can be like, look, this is what we've done, or this is what we didn't do, or this is what we do. What do you want
So
to
what I'll say is one of the questions, and there's a couple that are kind of reoccurring, so it's the same kind of content that we can cover in this. But one thing that Chloe and I can kind of help you guys out with is, one question was on here from somebody talking about keeping up with everything when you live a busy lifestyle. You have 4 kids, other things, no organization, no nothing. So you can't do it by yourself. And that is
What do you
something
mean
that I
by
want to say.
that?
Like, you can't do all those things by yourself, like your kids and stuff like that. So you're going to have help if this is going to be a serious business.
Well,
It's the conversations you have to have, right?
Let me chime in on that.
Yeah.
I love Anthony to pieces, but I'm gonna tell you what, as much as I beg him to help me do anything, this is not.
But when you start to have kids.
Yeah, but I want to back up. Yeah. Okay. So Justin is not appropriate to answer this question. Someone like me and Amber, I love my husband very much, but he was not involved in my business until about 1.5 years ago. It like directly. So what I'll say about that is, who was it? Was it Ashley?
No,
So
it was Morgan Davis that asked the question.
Okay,
about
so
Dallas and
so I built to Superstar Director, just giving you guys it straight with no systems. I had no systems. I didn't realize what the 3 legs were, but I was doing them. So what I would say to someone like that is focus on income producing activities. Focus on the most important things, and Amber can definitely build on this, that you need to do to get your sales, to follow up with your customers, to flip those parties, to get those recruits. That's why it's so important to have at least, I recommend 8 parties a month, leads and above, that really want to treat this like a business, making sure you're doing the most important things. It's not about pretty samples. I would go into work as a nurse and bring a whole bar. I would bring a whole thing of washer whips in the bags in my purse. I would literally bring products, room spray, put it in my pocket. You have to, if you're in a grind like that, and I was in that for about 4 years with no help from my spouse, not in a bad way. He loved me, he supported me, but it was literally like an Anthony situation. And I can say that because I'm very close with Anthony as well. And guess what? That's okay. They don't have to help in that aspect, but you have to learn a grind and a hustle for focusing on the IPAs that are going to be the most effective for your business with your sales, recruiting, and easy training, but also with the easy training, using systems that are going to make it more efficient. Using Coach the Coach. I would do calls on the way home. I didn't even have systems in place then. If I did now, it would be 15-minute calls, 2 on the way home. Like, you've really got to prioritize what is the most important thing for you to do when you have a lot going on.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Hang on, Amber's probably going to have something to say on that too. No? Okay, yeah.
I mean, the 3 legs of success. I mean, I can't say that's enough. It's really that simple. And I saw someone say something about customer base. You have to be having parties to do anything. You have to be partying. And I know that since he started as a partying company, you have consultants and you party. You have to do that. You don't necessarily have to be like, will you have a party? Do you want free Scentsy? But the importance of that is expanding your customer base. You're not accidentally, but it's happening automatically. When you're partying, you're gaining customers. You're adding them on Facebook. You're involved in what they're posting. You're liking what they're doing. They're commenting. They trust you. They order a couple times from you, throw them in your VIP page. Treat them like gold, and they're going to refer you. And, 1 million times over, it's really as simple as partying.
Yeah.
You do anything.
Yeah, and that's what I did too, guys. When I was a nurse, I wish you guys knew me then. So many of y'all didn't know me then. I was so focused on, I brought back parties to work. I didn't get permission to bring a party. I would just bring it and let them smell. I brought washer whip samples. I was a nurse I was a floor nurse. I didn't work in an office. So I did 13-hour shifts. So you want to talk no time? Talk about following up with customers while you're peeing in the bathroom. Talk about going in your locker in the break room after lunch and quickly making samples to give out to the nurses, putting a room spray in your pocket. It's called a hustle, and it's called a grind. And the best advice I can give you guys that are in this position right now is you've got to use the resources we've given you to work very quickly to do the things that are going to be the most effective to get you to where you need to be. And you're going to be behind. There's things that you're going to get off balance. I always say balance is BS. You're always going to have a leg where you need to look at and reassess and be like, I need to focus on this more next month or this more next month or whatever. But I promise you guys, especially those with full-time jobs, we have so many resources for you guys now, including the 3 legs of success. You need to keep it very simple. Sales, recruiting. Sales are going to give you the recruits, right? And the recruits are going to be the ones that you train. And then out of the ones you train, you're going to develop a certain amount of leaders. It's literally, it goes down like that.
The other questions I think you pretty much answered.
Did we answer them?
Yeah,
The other
because it was
ones?
about like how to recruit, getting more frontline. Like I think we've covered
Yeah,
that. But
and-
if there's any other question like that's built balance, time management, we've covered all that stuff. So if there's anything else question wise, but like those were the main ones.
Yeah. Is there any questions you guys have, honestly, for me and Amber? I know this went over. Did you answer
It
what
didn't
you
go over.
wish?
We actually are on time
Okay.
still.
What I
No,
had
we
done
didn't.
in the beginning. So Amber kind of went over a little bit of things that she did now that she wished she did then. Honestly, in my opinion, this is the thing that I want you guys to understand. When I started Cincy, and Amber knows this, and even up until recently, we didn't have all these programs. These programs were created to help you guys succeed. These programs were created by people that are doing things to produce success, to instill in each of you. So my best advice I can give for you guys is you need to use the resources that you've been given and make that like creatively work for you as a consultant. Sales are not going to happen, like Amber said, by a Facebook post. You have to pull them off of that and build real relationships. You don't have to have a VIP page to be successful. You don't have to have all these other things consultants have. But guess what? If your sales are low, you may want to do a VIP page or try some things out to get your sales up. But definitely, like, you guys have everything and more. I think what's the hardest part for people to understand about being a leader is the actual inner drive that you need to have inside is what's going to get you out of bed every day and doing the hard things and having the parties when parties fail. And like Amber said, not calling it a party, okay, but calling it, hey, do you want a personal shopping link? I think Melanie McCourt said that as well. It's all about building these relationships with these customers so they can fit in the category of a host, of a customer, of a referral, or a recruit. And then you repeat. It's literally the same thing that you're doing every single month. And if I can do it without systems, and honestly, Amber didn't have systems before either. If we can do it without systems, you can do it with them. Systems make you quicker. They make it more efficient. But you guys have to understand that you have to realize this is not a sprint. Like this is a marathon journey, lifelong thing. And leadership too is not optional. You know, if you decide that you're going to be a leader, you have to be a leader. It's not going to be, oh, I'm going to be a leader when I feel like it. I'm going to be a leader because I feel good today. I'm going to sponsor because I feel good. No, don't sponsor because you want a cookie. You need to sponsor because that's on the 3 legs of success, and that's what you need to do as a leader. You need to grow your front line because that's something that me and Justin, have instilled in you guys. And if you haven't ever heard about growing your active front line, that's how you're going to grow your business. You're not going to grow a big business by sponsoring only one every 4 months or those kinds of things. It has to be consistent. I was talking to a star consultant today. You know, when you're sponsoring people, if you're a leader on this call right now and you have someone that you sponsored and they sponsored somebody, but they don't want to train that person, do not jump in initially and throw that launch party and do those things. That's literally like you're buying the ingredients at the freaking grocery store, you're prepping for the cookies, you're putting them in the oven, and then you're feeding them to them. That's not going to create somebody who is going to be a good independent consultant. So it's all about launching them for success, but identifying, okay, I don't need to jump over that sponsor. I need to instill belief in that sponsor and tell them it's your launch party you need to throw. I know you're scared, but you got this. And this is literally a conversation that I had today. When it comes to leadership, you guys have the position to where you can level up or you can level out. And I mean that in the nicest way, but it comes down to you as a business owner, you have the tools. There's so many tools, and like, what's difficult for me to understand is when people say they can't be successful, it's not a you can't be successful because you don't have the tools problem. It's a you don't have the systems problem. It's a you need to have high PRV and recruit problem. And that's something to where it takes time. It takes failures. You know, there's people I reach out to every day, you guys, and they don't text me back. They may be customers or a recruiting conversation. I keep moving. It doesn't stop for me. And Amber's the same way. And I think people have to stop boxing conversations. I am getting away from that this year. Stop saying I'm going to have 10 conversations this week. How about you get 2 recruits this month, period? And if it's today and you have 0, which I looked today and saw I had 0, you're redirecting your focus to get 2 recruits. It's not, I'm going to have 10 recruiting conversations. No, because you're limiting yourself. You're going to put sponsoring into every aspect of your business. Like, you know what I mean? Like Amber was saying. Amber, do you have anything you want to bounce off that?
Well, a couple things, no, because I think you covered everything there, but I saw somebody comment, there were 2 things I wanted to address. If you only have one person show up to your team meeting, treat your team meeting the exact same way. And I know that, I can't remember who said it wasn't their front line. Treat it the same way. And what you need to do is like post it on social media and make people feel jealous that they didn't come. That's something Chloe taught me a long time ago. Make people feel like they need to come to your meetings. Yeah. I did that up until I had people come to my meetings. So treat it the exact same way. Praise them for coming. I'm an outline person. You guys can see that's who I am. I do it for all of my team meetings. I go over everything that I wanted to go over with them. The end. Another one real quick. I'm sorry, this is late. Do y'all do samples for 3 months? Jennifer, I literally bulk sample whatever I need to bulk sample at the beginning of the month. And like today's the 9th, my mom was over today and I saw that I was running low on Scentsy Soak and I was running low on washer whip. So I bulk sampled those. I'm going to be doing my bring back my bar stuff ready for the parties to send out tomorrow. So I do them like that's in my checklist to do.
Yeah. And just to reiterate, like Beverly, I saw like, again, the only one person came, guys, we're always after the one. And I promise you, if you stay consistent and with that one, if just one shows up, brainstorm with them, bounce ideas with them, come up with some fun things with them, share that on your team page. Also pull that person, tag them on your team page, show them this is what we do. The more you keep consistent with it, the more people will see the value in it and more will show up. Amber literally was in that same position when she started team meetings.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and literally I remember Amber telling me like, Chloe, I don't want to do this. And I was like, no, you're so good at it. You literally have to keep doing it.
I'm like, I'm going to cancel. And Chloe's like, no, you're not. I'm like, all right.
No.
Coming from someone who had only their family members joined, and I don't even know if they sold anything.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. It was very fun.
Yeah. And I did the same thing. I would do it when I only had one person show up or 2 people. But what you're doing, you guys.
We were in an area where you can't party.
Yeah.
Like everything was taken. We couldn't party here.
Yeah. I'm in an area where all the events were taken, where all the things were already taken to where it was difficult for me.
Evolve. Yeah.
And so, yeah, we are so glad that you guys came on tonight. Amber, you know that you're my girl and I love you so much. There is so much gold that you gave. Is there any last questions that you guys have?
Speak now.
About what we talked about. And I want you guys to realize, look, as you grow, more people are going to want to be leaders. I'm going to be honest, about 2 in 10 people you sponsor have the potential. 2 in 10, maybe. The rest, it's that you always need the certifieds and those kinds of people, but just know you can't get discouraged. That's the point of continuing to sponsor and continuing to go through, in my opinion. I know a lot of people say quality over quantity. Well, in my opinion, you got to go through the quantity to find the quality. You have absolutely zero idea who you can instill belief into to change their business. Somebody I was coaching today is a star consultant. I never in a million years would have thought she would even have wanted to do Scentsy. It started with a party. It started with free Scentsy. It started with customer service. It started with a random online order, and I took very good care of her. It evolved into a grab bag.
It started with me giving her my Scentsy.
I sat down with her and closed her grab bag, and literally right then and there, I told her about the Earn a Kit. Like, that is what happened. That is what Amber is talking about, you guys. Stop focusing so much on how do I get recruits and focus on excellent customer service and being the best consultant you can be, so they become obsessed with the product, so you build a relationship with them outside of a freaking Maven pretext, and you get them to want to do what you do. That is what it is. And I've been sponsoring for 8 years. Amber's been sponsoring as long as she's been a consultant. That is how it works. If your PRV is low, stop worrying about your team and focus on yourself.
Scentsy addicts, just to bounce off that, make the best consultants. And I will say that till I fall over into whatever I fall over into when my time has come. It literally, I had a conversation with a customer today. She's texting me about bring back my bars and Scentsy club. And I said, well, actually, you know, like, you could join my team. And she's like, oh, I've thought about it, but I'm kind of like really busy, blah, 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 blah. But I still had that conversation, and we went back, and she was like, but I am an addict. And I'm like, I know you are. Like, just nonchalantly throw it in there. Like, bring it up in conversation. Like, people aren't going to be like, oh, like, if they have a good relationship with you, they're not going to be like, oh my God, here she goes again, trying to recruit me on her team. Just make it a thing that you do. They like, Amber's like, who I buy Scentsy from, this is her name. She might say to her husband, Amber mentioned joining a team. I don't know, but I didn't like do this number, and I opened my mouth and I had that conversation. So it's planting a seed.
Yep, you have to plant the seed, you guys. And there's no like me and Amber said, there's no like formula to this is exactly how you do it. You have to be individualized. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to realize that these people are human beings, right? Like, there's a lot going on in our world right now. And so we have to realize that people are people. And when you're connecting with a customer, it's not just about they're a customer, they're the only customer. When I'm building a relationship with a customer, if I have a team member text me and a customer texts me, I'm answering the customer. I'm seeing what they need. If they had an issue, if they need a bulb, I have bulbs on hand. Literally, the customer experience is the most important to me, because that creates referrals, hosts, and people to join. And I think that's the biggest thing that leaders kind of get sidetracked on, is we're so focused on the team, but you have to focus on your foundation. If you're not actively growing your frontline and sponsoring, what are we even training our teams on? What are we doing programs on with our teams on? What are we doing with our teams to teach them on systems and coach to coach that we're not even doing ourselves? We have to do these things so we can like adequately educate our teams on these things. They're looking at what you do. They want to know your failures. Be vulnerable with them. Tell your team members, those of you that have team pages, on what you've struggled with. I am very vulnerable, especially with my directors. They know when I'm going through stuff. They know the most important things. You have to be vulnerable in your space for your people to actually trust you. And you have to realize that as a leader, your job isn't to do the easy thing. Your job is to do the hard things that are going to grow them and that are going to stretch them. And so, you know, honestly too, those of you that, if you have questions after you've watched Guide to Growth and after you've watched Coach the Coach, and you're implementing that and you're doing the conversations and you're growing your business, then go to your director and ask them for some tips. But what we really want to see from leaders in 2020 is we want to see you step up, rise up, and do the part. This is not about handing out cookies, truthfully. And I say that because, you know, this is a business, and this is leadership, and leadership is about evolving and adapting and when you're experiencing difficulties getting back up, but this is your business. Nobody bought your kit but yourself. And so everything that we give you guys is extra, and everything we give you guys is because we love you guys. But just know, if you really implement the things that Amber has said tonight, that we have said, those of you, whether you're a new director or a lead consultant, the 3 legs are the 3 legs. I have a group of 7,000 of y'all, and you know what I do? The 3 legs. I don't do 5,000 systems. I don't need to do that. But I know how to pull reports. That's why you need to watch Coach the Coach. Don't expect to know how to coach people when you're just flinging out coaching forms like they're candy, and you literally have no idea how to use them. That is the complete reverse way. So just what my best advice for you guys is, do things the right way. Don't skip steps. Break it down for you. Don't compare yourself, like Amber said. This is not a comparison game. This is a you figure out how to do it your way. I'm always evolving. Amber's been evolving, especially in the past 3 months. I think we have to really simplify systems and realize they're not 1,000 things. They're the most important IPAs. It's the most important things. It's sales, it's recruiting, it's training. Then repeat, it's sales, it's recruiting, it's training. Oh, Chloe, but I want to make a pretty flyer. I don't care. What's your sales? Get off the flyer, increase your sales, sponsor. Oh, I want to do this. Stop. You've recruited 0 people this month. Why are we talking about bring back bar splits? Do you guys see what I'm saying? We've got to stop focusing on the things that don't matter if you're trying to build a business with limited time. And that is why taking the first week of the month to bulk sample and to do all these things, it's going to keep you more efficient and effective in your business. I wish you guys could see me in my office for a day. It's completely chaotic, but there's no way I could do it if I didn't have samples made, if I didn't have all these things written in my planner, knowing what I need to do. So just remember that you're not going to ever feel on top of it, but you guys have a community that loves you and that supports you and that's here to help you. But as a leader, it's your job to dig and train yourself. It's your job to identify what systems you're going to use when you guys have on Anchored In, pinned at the top, 1 million resources. It's not my job to tell you guys, hey, for the 20th time, watch Coach the Coach, watch Guide to Growth. You're a leader, so you need to think in your mind, if that's something you're struggling with, is knowing what to do. I really want to challenge you to where are you focused at, right? What is your focus on? Because if you're focused on PRV, you're going to find trainings to make it higher. If you're focused on growth, you're going to watch recruiting trainings. That's what I did before there was any kind of YouTube platforms at all with any like trainings with actual substance. So use the trainings that we guys have given you. Don't reinvent the wheel, like Amber said, but make it yourself. Me and Amber, we are very close, but she works completely different from me in the best way. Like, y'all are independent consultants, and I think you're also independent leaders. It's your culture. It's not Amber's culture. It's not Chloe's culture. It is your culture of how you want to create that space and that connection with your team. But, team trainings, all of that is the absolute, like, it's a definite. That should start immediately with 1. And we've got to get out of this space of being like, I can't do this because of this. Guys, that is not a training issue. That is a mindset issue. And we are here to build leaders. We are not here to help fix, you know what I mean, a mindset. We can only help you guys so much, but what I'm here to say is you've got to dig deep into the vision. You've got to have a deep vision. You have to have really deep, like me and Justin were talking tonight about when I'm going to retire my parents and his parents. This is deep stuff. I'm not playing ball. You know what I mean? Like, this is real life right here. And you guys have to really dig into, okay, even if you don't believe it, like, what do I want? Like, I never thought I would tell my dad I can retire him in a couple years, and Justin's dad, like, this is happening. And it started with me. It didn't start with anybody else. It didn't start with a system. So I want you guys to get out of your head that you've got to have all this A, B, C, and D. Sponsor and sell and train. Repeat. Sponsor and sell and train. And then guess what? Repeat. And then, you know what I'm saying? If you are so overwhelmed with systems, sponsor, sell, train, repeat. Sponsor, sell, train, repeat. And then when you decide that you can't keep it all in your head because you won't be able to, then write it on paper and then turn it into one of the systems we have. It's that simple. Like, you've got to realize a lot of times it's not a system problem. It's a work ethic problem. It's a belief problem. It's a I don't think I can do it problem. And it's not my job or anybody's job to motivate you guys on how to have that work ethic. You have to decide from within that you're done, right? With whatever your circumstance is, and that this is what you're going to do to change your life. This is what you're going to do so you can buy an X amount house like Amber got, which I know exactly what house she got, and it's beautiful. That never would have happened unless it were for Cincy, guys. This is real life. Like, this is real life, and like, these are some of the biggest paychecks y'all have ever had. Don't sleep on that mess. Don't sleep on that because you think that this was a fling. Coach your people, lead them, do it the right way. Like, that's how you're going to not just grow your paycheck, but you're going to change your life, you know? So Amber, you want to close us out, little love bug?
I love y'all.
We love you guys very much. Sorry, Amber's drained. She has done all the worked and done a party and done this.
You see it in my face.
I can. And this
I'm
is
like,
normally in bed by like 9:45. So
no, I've been staying up till like 11. You'd be proud.
look at you. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording.